welcome to the Words with Chad Austin. I'm Chad Austin, and I have a guest with me today. He came in here from Colorado Springs, and not just to do my podcast. He's had a debaucherous weekend, but we'll get into that in a minute. Mr. Cody Banks is here.
Hello, sir.
Now, I'm sure, how many times have people called you Agent Cody Banks?
Oh, it's actually on purpose. So every time, thankfully.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was in theater, so they're like, hey, your name's Cody. Try to figure something out, like, people are going to remember. And I was like, are people going to remember, like, Cody Gould? They're not. So
Oh,
like,
it's not your fucking real name.
No, it's not. It's a stage name, but it's wonderful, isn't it? Because you remember it.
Yeah, no, yeah, you absolutely do. It's just like, I just, as soon as I heard your name, the first time I ever heard it, I was like, Agent Cody Banks. I was like, that's one of those names that you're going to remember when you hear it. It's so
unforgettable.
Oh, shit. So Cody, we were just at, did I just say we? No, you were just at Bartenders Weekend.
Yeah.
And for the listeners of mine that aren't from the bar world, Bartenders Weekend is basically a mini version of a thing that we have called Tales of the Cocktail. And Tales of the Cocktail is a week-long drug and alcohol-fueled orgy that they claim is educational. And yeah, sure, it can be if you go to the seminars, but I would say 10% of the people that go to this thing actually go to the seminars.
Yeah.
So what Bartenders Weekend did was like, we're not even going to pretend like it's educational. We're just doing a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday of drinking and drugs and hotel parties and all kinds of shit like that. And you just came from your first one.
Oh yeah, it was the most wonderful shit show I've experienced in a while. I mean, you spend 3 days getting liquored up and hanging out in a pool, and hopefully someone comes along, and that's kind of the deal. But you get to we tasted some new spirits that came out. I got to get sunburnt on a cruise. That was cool. I'll take that.
Last time I did Bartenders Weekend was I think 3 or 4 years ago, and I did my old podcast, which was just like an industry podcast. It was called Death of the Party. Shout out to anybody that used to listen to that.
Okay.
And Illegal Mezcal had I don't know if they still do it, but they did a cruise every year for Bartenders Weekend. And I was roaming around on the cruise trying to interview people. and the sound quality, absolute garbage, because it's just boat and then people screaming, and then I didn't know it, but a band started playing, and I'm trying to so did you get your dick sucked this weekend yet? Or and people are trying to scream over the band, and it wasn't good.
How did you record podcasts on the go 4 years ago?
A Zoom recorder.
Oh,
yeah, which I still have. And they're actually a good piece of equipment. If anybody wants to buy mine, let me know, because I do things here now. I'm a fucking official, dudes. I don't record at home anymore. This is big dog shit. But what was your most debaucherous part of this weekend?
So, I mean, coming from Colorado, you can't bring anything with you. So obviously you are trying to find anything and anything you can, from anyone who's in the area. And I think crashing one of the special events, outside, and someone just being like, hey, you want some cocaine? And we're just like, oh, we didn't even have to ask. So that kind of turned into a karaoke night at the Lamplighter till about 3 a.m. And I mean, I'm a sucker for karaoke. So
what's your karaoke song? I have to know. Your go-to.
Sweet Transvestite Rocky Horror.
Oh, dude,
because
fuck
I'm
yes.
a homosexual. Yeah.
Dude, I never would have guessed.
Wasn't the Pink Bomber that threw it off?
No, dude. I just thought you loved Grease. Which doesn't make you gay. Summer lovin'. No, but fuck, man. I know, but at these events, people will just hand you drugs.
Yeah,
and
without even asking.
One of my least favorite parts of going to these events is if I had drugs, I felt obligated to share them with people I didn't really know or like.
Okay, so it's an obligation then.
You know, like, well, you're okay. So we're in the hospitality industry, right?
Understood, but like I've never met so many people willing to give away free cocaine.
It's
like
expensive.
It is.
Why are you giving it away? No, but it was also one of those things where you're also like pretty out of your mind. So then you just you talk to somebody for 5 minutes and you're like, we're friends now.
Here are my drugs.
Do you want to try some of this? It only has a little bit of fentanyl.
Just a little bit, just a scotch.
I mean, I'm glad I didn't hear that anybody died this weekend.
Has that happened in the past?
No.
Oh, what? Okay.
Unfortunately.
I mean,
there's a
someone
couple
died
people
when I
I
went to
wish.
Swanee, when I went to like Tipper and Friends, like one of those festivals. Same kind of wristbands. But I mean, like someone died in that river.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's
Florida though, so what do you expect?
You really, it's kind of, it's a big gamble. You know, you have that many people doing that many drugs. It's kind of amazing that everyone walked out of there.
Yeah. Especially like,
I was expecting to see like a few Instagram RIP posts this weekend.
No broken legs, no like.
Just like, this guy was one of the greatest parts of our industry, and he's gone too soon. And it's just, and no one ever likes to bring up how they went, but it's just like everybody immediately knows. I mean, you don't assume, you immediately know. It's just like if anybody in our industry dies under the age of fucking 45, you're just like, oh, they did drugs till their heart stopped.
One of the cool things though, like, because you know they have all like the sponsored cabanas and everything like that. I guess someone had rented a cabana that they didn't know it was Bartenders Weekend, so they basically just hung like for rent signs and like sponsorship, inquire within, and like every day they just had someone new just in their cabana. It was hysterical.
That's pretty smart though.
Yeah, I mean, I'd make money off that,
right? They're just like, there's all these assholes here. How can I capitalize off all of these assholes? But okay, so that's another thing that I always hated about like these events is I really don't need a brand ambassador trying to be buddy with me when I'm out there. Like, I hate most brand ambassadors. They're all garbage people. They're all garbage people, and they act like they're the rock stars of the industry when none of them have stepped behind a bar in like 6 or 7 years.
Dude, they're one step away from a real estate agent, and it's bad.
No, it is. I mean, they're just as bad as a real estate agent, really. Like, they're selling me their property.
At least like a real estate agent gives you like cookies, though.
Yeah,
I'm here for that.
Cookies and juice, dude.
I'm here for it.
Do you not have punch and pie?
Cigar and a cigarette.
I was told there'd be punch and pie. Yeah, man. So Lamplighter and Cocaine till 3 a.m. And I mean, your song selection's fucking key, though.
Thank you.
I absolutely love that movie. I watch it with my daughter all the time.
Dude, Rocky, I forgot you have a child.
Yeah, dude, she's 12.
Are you serious? Damn, daddy, literally.
Dude, she's 12, and the other day she's getting ready for school, right? And which, by the way, I have to wake up at 6:30 in the morning every single day, no matter what time I go to bed, because I have to get her ready for school. And she comes downstairs, and she is wearing, like, it's like she's wearing like a crop top and a cape. And,
okay.
and like these really baggy jeans that have like just huge holes in them. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? I was like, first of all, the cape, whatever. I would have gotten jumped back in my day for wearing it, but I'm sure it's going to be different now for you. I was like, but yo, the crop top, you're 12. What are you doing? And she looks at me and she goes, you're just mad because I'm cooler than you are.
Honestly.
And I looked at her, I was like, you're not even allowed to watch an R-rated movie, you fucking virgin. Get back upstairs. And no, but yeah, no. I was actually, I didn't say anything. I was stunned. I was like, damn, dude, she's right.
Now my question is about the cape. Are we talking like Harry Potter, like Snape cape? Or are we talking like a superhero glittery red cape?
We're talking like she was Bo Peep from Toy Story 2 years ago, and it's like Bo Peep's.
Oh, it's like a shawl.
Yeah, it's like her shawl, but she rocks it as a cape.
That's a fashion choice.
No, it is
good for her. Not the crop top, but the cape. I'm
no,
here for it now.
No, yeah. And my wife was like, I don't know if we should let her wear the cape to school. I was like, let's just let her wear the cape to school and see what happens. And and honestly, she's worn it every day since, so it must be going well for her. Shout out to the Cape Kid. She's the kid in the cape. Like back in my day of going to elementary school, you would have been ostracized as the kid in the cape. No one go around him. He probably smells weird.
Absolutely, yeah, and has like at least like 3 collections of different like game cards.
And he eats his boogers.
Oh my!
I mean, there would be rumors out the ass about the kid in the cape. Like it's. I mean, it's real. Like
talks to frogs. You heard that?
I saw him over there petting something, and I couldn't figure out what it was, and it was just a bundle of sticks. What is he doing?
Okay, like
it's so weird. Okay, so you're gay.
Yes.
Okay. No, I have a question that actually has to do with that.
Oh, I'm so excited.
What is it? And because I know you're a fan. What is it with gay men and Disney villains?
Okay. Oh, son of a bitch. Okay, call me out because Ursula like legitimately is. I have a pineapple tattoo with an Ursula charm in the middle.
I know you do. I know you have an Ursula tattoo, and your hair is purple. And
it is. I think it's the sheer fact that the Disney villains, well, number one, they are like they are homosexually coded to kind of come off gay, so it kind of feels a little bit of acceptance, nice. But also, as a child who grew up as a homosexual.
Wait, you grew up as a homosexual?
Well, I mean, yeah, I grew up as a homosexual. Listen, actually, I didn't even know until
you didn't choose later.
I came out when I was 22, and that's the funny part. Like, I had no idea, and we like look back at like my journals, and it was like, today was Olympics Day with my toys, and the Sparkle team won. It was also my unicorn's birthday. And I was like, Mom, like, really, you didn't know? But I mean, the idea that someone who kind of seems like you and is ostracized to be able to like strike down the people who did it for fun and maybe sing a song about it, that's what it is. It is the sheer performance of your frustration.
Okay.
And that's what I think it is.
All right. Now, do you want me to ruin Disney villains for you a little bit?
Oh my God.
This article just came out last week where it says, why do so many Disney villains look like me? And this person is claiming that Disney villains have been illustrated with a history of Jew coding. Now,
okay.
I know you don't like Jews, so he doesn't like Jews almost as much as he doesn't like Mexicans. Anyways, so it says that, yeah, so Jew coding in the bad guys, and it's talking about the hook noses and the long chins, and it even points towards Maleficent's horns as being Jew coding.
So, okay, this actually makes a lot of sense because, like, Disney was a known, like, Nazi enthusiast.
Yeah. Well, he was part of the group that funded NASA with a Nazi scientist.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
There you go. There's a little tidbit for you. Little tiddlywinks. Yeah. So it basically, it starts off with Mother Gothel entangled, and it says Mother Gothel is a cinematic foil for the predictably wide-eyed button-nosed Rapunzel. Gothel, the magnificent mercutial manipulator. Damn, dude, this girl's got bars. So miserly with her food and money, so separate from the other golden hairs in the kingdom, and distinctively othered. So she happens to be animated with curly black hair and a hooked nose, stereotypical to Jews. And I mean, it just goes on. I mean, she goes on a rant about like something called the blood libel, which is an anti-Semitic canard that reverberates through history, accuses Jews of stealing Christian children to bake their blood into matzah.
Okay. Oh, okay. So this blood thing.
What?
Okay. So I can see where this comes from because you know what a moil is, right? And like
yes.
a bris?
Yes.
Okay. Did you know that like the moil used to like suck the blood off the freshly circumcised dick?
Oh, yeah.
Like that, like...
Yeah.
Moils like, don't go near your Jew friends because they'll eat you as a baby. Like,
yeah.
like that's... Matzah though?
Well, also, like, how dope is it as a young Jewish boy to be like, dude, I've been getting domed since the cradle. I mean, and imagine I mean, what if you looked at it as if a young Jewish man ends up being gay and he comes out and he's like, it's your fault because a man sucked my dick when I was, what, a year old? They do theirs later, don't they?
Oh, I have no idea.
I think they do because for me, for me at least, it was like, like a week after getting out of the hospital, it was like, all right, now you're gonna
pencil
get your dick
sharpen
cut.
it, right?
Yeah. And I think that I'm pretty sure the Jewish people do theirs late, like a little bit down the road. They're like, we really want you to remember and feel this,
like it's your actual communion, and be like right in front of everyone. Here you go.
And he's sucking it off.
But like conversely, like that happens to like Jewish kids then. But like, God forbid, it's a Catholic guy who like sucks off a little kid. We got danger.
Well. I mean, my Catholic priest was very loving with this touch, so.
I'm Methodist, so he just stuck a finger in my ass.
Okay, so on to the next thing, because I mean, I could talk about how evil Jews are all day. I mean, no. Don't get mad at me. I'm part Jewish, grandpa's side. Grandpa Romanian Jew, dude. It's totally cool.
And I love circumcised dicks, so
so we're good. Tucker Carlson recently said on his show that he doesn't care about the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Now, before you say anything, I would just like to point out that Tucker is biting my style because I said that on this podcast like 3 weeks ago. I was the first one to say that I don't give a shit about what's going on over there, and stop trying to make me care. I don't care how many hot girls put a Ukraine flag in their profile. I don't care. Just show your ass. That's it. That's all I want. Anyways, what were you going to say?
I'm going to be really honest with you. I don't follow a lot of politics. So people are like, yeah, like Russia invaded the Ukraine. I'm like, that's not part of Russia. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm pretty sure that's most of people's first thoughts.
I was like, wait, they're different?
It's a different place?
Okay.
I thought they all spoke the same thing and were angry all the time for the same reasons.
Like, I'm just not good at like geography and the history of transportation, and that falls under one of those categories. So like I'm not at fault here.
I feel you.
For my ignorance.
Okay. Now, just recently, a trans woman competed in swimming.
Yes.
And do you know about this?
Yes. Slightly. It depends where we're going with
okay, this. So as a man, he was ranked number 465 and then transitioned and now is the number 1 competing swimmer as a female.
Okay.
All right. Now, with that information given to you, if you were to transition tomorrow, what sport do you think you could dominate?
Maybe like tiddlywinks. I'm not a sports person. I mean, maybe no, I couldn't even say football because I know a lot of girls who just beat my ass. Like, I'm not gonna do well in any type of sport. Maybe curling. Curling, that kind of seems like an easier one.
Is bowling an Olympic sport?
I'm not good at bowling. I'm like one of the,
I'm not great, but I think I'm better than all women.
No, my elbows don't fully extend, so everything kind of just like curves no matter what. It's like it's not gonna like get a full like throw out of there. Badminton. Okay. Okay, yeah.
A little ball with the things on it.
Is Yu-Gi-Oh a sport?
Like, I have a pretty stacked Pokemon deck. How about that?
I'm here for it. Make trading cards competitive again.
Seriously, dude, no one plays the game anymore.
No, I just collect them.
All right. If somebody came up to you and said, "Hey, you can be a voice in a new Disney film."
Yo, this is like my dream. Okay, cool.
So somebody said, they're like, "Hey, we want you, like, we heard you talking. We were sitting at a table behind you. We think you're very animated. We want you to be a voice in the next Disney film. We want you to also, and you get to be a talking animal. We want you to pick what kind of animal you'll be and what your catchphrase is going to be. What would it be?
Yo, okay.
I know you've thought about this
I
before.
have definitely thought about this. I didn't think about an animal though. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
But I feel like it would need to be some type of like Greek like mythological animal because it need to be like some like Hercules sequel. This is where I'm going with this.
Okay.
Because it's like
Hercules is the shit.
It is Hercules, Aladdin, Little Mermaid.
He put the Gladiator, dude.
Hercules. As an animal, I mean, a centaur would be pretty cool. Not gonna lie. As a Sagittarius, like, cause that's my sun sign, and like, I blame everything on the moon. I think being a centaur would be pretty cool. Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that camera got me rolling my eyes.
I think like a centaur or like some type of like, like a fucking dolphin, actually.
Oh, so you just want to rape.
Oh, wait. A lot of fucking.
Dude, dolphins are rapists.
I rape caves. And then, I really didn't know about this the entire time. Like, my family let me go through one to be a dolphin trainer. They let me become a Miami Dolphins fan. Yeah. Did I mention I'm gay? If your kid is a Miami Dolphins fan, he's probably a homosexual, just letting you know. But yeah, I think a dolphin, but like my parents and my friends let me go about like thinking like dolphins were super cool. And then I find out when I'm like 19, I'm like, dolphins pull people underwater into rape caves and rape them.
Yes.
In the rape caves.
Yes.
Can I say rape again?
Rape.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So you'd be a dolphin. What would your catchphrase be? Get out of the water, little kid. I'm going to rape you.
Rape. I feel like it'd have to be like something like sucks to suck or like, no, because I'm a dolphin. It'd have to be that like, what's her name? Cardi B thing, but it'd be like, have to be like the own, but like put like the dolphin clicks in there.
Oh.
So like,
I'm not even gonna try to make the noise, but yeah, no, I get you. No, that's pretty solid. I like it.
Line.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now, this is a little thing called which is worse.
Okay.
All right. What's your dream job?
Creative director for like a hospitality group. I mean, I'm in the industry, so like, let me just make shit creative.
All right. So you land your dream job and you're working for you're the creative director for like one of the most prestigious bars in the world. Okay, let's just say that. And you the bank account is stacked and you have nice cars and you have a nice house and all that stuff and everything's going great. But the only caveat is you are only attracted to minors.
How is that spelled?
I like it.
Because you're going to tell me I can only be attracted to dudes who are underground with like swinging hammers all day. I'm like, yes, please.
No, it's the other type, unfortunately. Now, it's not saying that you ever act on this attraction because prison, but but your attraction just solely lies with minors. So you basically just go for dudes that look like they're 15, 14. And it never quite does it for you. So you just spend your whole life never really finding how to get your nut because you're not, unless you act on it, but you're not, in my mind, you're not acting on it because you seem like a decent person.
Try to sometimes.
Yeah. So it's that, or you fuck anybody you want and stay in the position that you're in right now. And are fully attracted to the people, whoever you want to be attracted to. And you never get higher than the position you're in right now. You stay at this level for the rest of your life. So basically, it's
honestly, it would have to be
basically it's your real life versus the scenario.
But real life, where I actually get to have sex with people and not like have been like celibate for 3 years because someone likes a fat dude in Colorado.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, then yeah. I mean, I will stay in the same position, get to fuck whoever I want to. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's kind of, sex over money.
Yeah.
Because then I can just start an OnlyFans. And that's not technically a job. I mean, no, it is. I mean, sex work is still a job, but like,
it's not. It's not, dude. If I could just sit, I know a couple people that have made money doing this, but if I could just sit in front of a camera and jerk off all day and pay my bills, I fucking would.
Honestly.
And how is that work? It's so much fun.
I mean, if you love what you do, you never really work. So, I mean, I can see you there.
Exactly.
Okay.
You never really work if you love what you do. And who doesn't love to jerk off?
That's also...
Men's, women's, men's who were women's, women's who were men's. We all love to jerk it.
It's a, just get off on yourself.
Yeah.
Come on.
So I enjoy your work. I don't find it to be real work. And sorry for the hot take, but
I mean, it's like saying if it's cheerleading a sport, because it's not.
it's not. Sure, and you don't. I mean, okay, sure. There's some like really like there's a couple people on the team that are like gymnasts, right?
Yeah, it's a competitive hobby.
Yeah, but the other ones are just getting thrown in the air. Like you don't even have to use your own skills. Somebody else stronger than you is going to throw you in the air, and you just have to fall into their arms. It's bullshit. How do you spend? And also, there's a cap on that too. Like, you can't do that for the rest of your life.
No, and if you do, everything is breaking.
Everything. I mean, look at that show Cheer. That one guy who tried to continue to do it, and everything went bad for him. You know what I'm talking about, Jerry?
No.
Oh, dude. So
I mean, there's a show about cheerleading?
Oh, dude, it's actually a really good show. So there's a show called Cheer on Netflix, and the first season featured this very adorable, very nice seeming chubby gay kid named Jerry.
Oh.
And he was like the star of the show. Everyone loved him. And then like 4 months later, it came out that his whole computer was just child porn.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is this based? This is like not like a reality TV show.
It's a reality TV show. That was a real person.
Shut the fuck
It was a real
up.
person.
Like you went on a reality TV show knowing full well that they're going to go in your back, all through your background, and you are going to have child porn on. That is that man is not smart.
Man, it's not smart. Like, why would you even? Here's my thing about people that look at child porn. Why do you keep it? And also, if you're gonna look at it, why aren't you using like a VPN or something? Make yourself anonymous, bro.
Somehow, so you like
make yourself anonymous. Why? Like, you should not have a hard drive full of kid dicks.
No.
Like,
unless you're a moil.
Which would be hilarious. Like why? It's like
a portfolio.
Yeah, he's all this is my work. He's all, I'm married to my work.
He went full of Zero Mostel in that. I really appreciate that.
All right, now we're gonna get into the worst, which is always the second half of the show, and we're at the second half of the show. So, if you don't know, it's your first time watching. The worst is the namesake of the show. This is where I ask him about some of his worst and most embarrassing experiences, and he tells me stories if he has anything good. And if not, then this part's really fucking boring. So I hope he has something.
I'm very excited for this part.
All right. Worst experience with drugs.
Oh, man.
Dead air.
No. Okay. So, I mean, being a bartender, you kind of get involved in drugs literally the entire time. And I had to call 911 because my hand got stuck in a toilet. Anyone who has done drugs knows that, I mean, like a key bump in the bathroom is kind of like the essential go-to. And when you are a poor working bartender who happens to be doing cocaine and you drop your coke in the toilet,
you risk life and limb to get it back, sir.
Yes. And as you go to grab it and you happen to try to brace yourself on what you didn't know was the flusher and get your hand stuck in plumbing and have to call for your boss, like yelling because you don't have your phone on you. Your boss has to come in and find you with your hand in the toilet and have them call 911 to break the toilet for you to get your hand back.
What was your excuse? What, like?
Oh, I told him it was drugs.
Okay, but
like I didn't do them with him.
Okay, to the boss that's fine, but like, did you have a different story for like? Well, probably the firefighter showed.
I said wedding ring, and that was the funny part.
That's hilarious.
Because I'm not. Anyone who's smart enough to get married would not put their hand in a toilet for cocaine. Uh,
Okay. Worst sexual experience.
okay.
He
Okay,
was ready for this one.
oh, no. So this is like the worst yet my favorite sexual experience.
Those are sometimes the best stories.
So, contrary to popular belief, I'm versatile, so I can do I can switch hit.
I thought he was gonna say virgin.
No,
I'm a virgin.
I'm a virgin now. I grew back. So in like my back bedroom, like old bed had this metal bed frame, and I had this kid like bent over the side of it, and we're going, and like if you get into it, like sometimes rough sex is great, and they're going ow, 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 and I'm like cool, harder, 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 and then he goes no, ow, fucking stop, and I was like all right, cool, like I pull up, pull out, like move back. And he rolls over, and his kneecap is now on the side of his leg.
Oh shit.
And here's like where the kind of the worst part is, because I'm a garbage human with this. I walked him out to his car, and he asked me if I was going to drive him to the hospital. And I said, no, it's your left leg. You can drive with your right. See you later. And then call my buddy to finish blowing me to get it off.
I mean, you're a saint for stopping in the middle, like.
I mean, like,
right? I mean, that's one of those moments where you're like, what kind of person am I? You really have to dig down deep and be like, do I
keep going? Like,
do I pretend like I didn't hear the ows? Do I to pretend like I didn't hear it? No, fucking stop.
I think it's the stop that got me. It was like, oh, like that's a safe word. Like,
yeah. It's like,
like oh, okay. Like,
everything's consensual nowadays. Sorry.
But yeah, so I mean, that was my favorite, like, worst experience.
No, yeah, that's a good one. You dislocated somebody's knee by fucking them too hard.
It was on a metal bed frame. I'm a big dude, but like, no.
It sounds a lot cooler if you just say, I fucked your knee out of place.
I did.
Worst night drinking.
Oh God. Legal age or like sneaking around? Ooh.
Any.
Okay. So I have this thing where like when I throw up, my like blood vessels pop in my face.
Oh yeah, dude.
So,
it happens to me too.
Like just forcefully like throwing myself up. This is a combination. So I went to Dogfish Brewery in Delaware, and shout out to Dogfish. I fucking hate you guys for this. But we went on tour for USBG. It was just a really terrible trip in general, but they brought us and they're like, oh, try our new, like all our new spirits. And they had like the new peanut vodka and their Palo Santo whiskey and all that shit. And they had us all try it. And then they're like, here, try some of this White Dog. And I was like, oh, cool. High alcohol content. And like everyone's taking a small sip. And I was like, I'm just going to throw it the fuck back. And I did. And then we went out to dinner later that night and I started to drink another cocktail, and I gave myself alcohol poisoning, and I had no idea. But the prior thing was, before we even went out to dinner, we were sitting at this campsite, and they're like, oh yeah, like bring out like whatever drinks you want. So like me being a degenerate, I brought out White Claw. So I'm just like shotgunning White Claws by the fire, and then didn't know that Sam Adams bought Dogfish, who owns Truly. And so the entire time that I'm like throwing up and physically ill, I'm blaming the guy from Truly for drugging my White Claw. And then I went back to the hotel and literally just like vomited in a shower for a good like 4 to 5 hours, like just cursing Dogfish.
Dude, that's brutal.
Yeah, and so besides my blood vessels being popped, my entire face, like the blood vessels were popped, and it's like one of those throws where you just like, I just want to keep my mouth open, just let it come all out.
But it's not.
No, it's not.
Yeah, dude, that's gnarly. You know, there's a story that I've never told on this show, and it's a mixture of a worst night drinking and a worst sexual experience. And I got really drunk and I went down on this girl and I threw up on her pussy.
Okay, so this is going to be a little dive into this. No pun intended. But was it on her pussy or in her pussy?
On.
Okay.
Like I hadn't really started yet.
You just got down there.
I hadn't really started yet. Like the underwear came down and I went and I was just like, I mean, it was one of those ones where it was like, there's no time to stop this. I can't save you. I can't save me. And just, and then I just remember looking up at her and being like, I don't know what to do. So I just kept on saying, I'm sorry. I was sorry. I was all drunk. I was like, I'm sorry.
Were you at her house or your house?
We were at neither one of our houses. It was a house party.
Sure. Oh, this changes things so much.
Yeah. So it was very, very strange when she went and took a shower at a person's house that neither one of us really knew. And then also while she was taking a shower, I snuck upstairs into the kid's mom's bedroom and found some new underwear for her. And yeah, and so and like they didn't like they were too big, so she had to like tie them on the side and shit. You know, I mean, great. I had to do something. Like it just I ruined her body and her panties. It was.
I mean, usually that sentence is a great one, but that's unfortunate.
No, yeah, no, it wasn't the good kind of ruined.
No.
Like I would pride myself if I ruined it in the good way. Also, another good night of drugs type story. I don't know if I've ever told this on. Well, maybe I did. I think. But anyways, I went to a party at Shia LaBeouf's house.
Are you like actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think I told this on the 1 year anniversary show, but that show was so long that probably like I did like a 2-hour show and I know nobody watched it all the way through. So I'm gonna tell it again. So went to a party at Shia LaBeouf's house because I met him. He was directing a music video for a rapper that I kind of knew. And I was an extra in the video, and Shia was directing it, and he was so coked out while he was there. Like he would spend most of his time in the trailer, and we were there like on shooting a 4-minute music video for like 13 hours that day. And right, he would be in the trailer, and then all of a sudden the fucking trailer door would fly open and be like, "We're gonna do this!" And I mean, the most ragefully coked out person, and then he would go shoot like a scene or two, and then he'd go back in the trailer for an hour, and so we all got invited to this party afterwards, a couple days later, and we're at his house, and everyone's drinking and doing a little blow and having a good time, and at one point it was like 2:33 in the morning, I think 3, yeah, like maybe even later, 3 or 3:30, and somebody was like, "Where's Shia?" You know, and it's like, oh, I don't know, like where's Shia? So me and one other person were like, we're gonna go find him. So so we just start walking around. Walking around his fucking like 2-story mansion thing that he has over here or had over here in the hills, and I get up to the master bedroom and I just hear screaming. What is going on? So I open the door and he's on the phone. And he's like, hold on. And he's like, Mom, listen. He's like, my friends just came in the room. He's like, and I need you to tell them that your pussy smells like eucalyptus.
Whoa.
And he puts her on speakerphone, and you just hear a lady crying, going, Shia, it's 5 in the morning. Why are you doing this? And he's just screaming at her, Mom, you're embarrassing me. Tell my friends that your pussy smells like eucalyptus. And that's... And... I mean, everyone had that question of, why does Shia know what his mom's pussy smells like? But she never fully, confessed, but he was pretty angry and he hung up the phone, and then after seeing that, everyone kind of just like, all right, I think we're gonna go. And like about a half hour later, everyone took off, and that was that. But I mean, it was fun. It was a good story. It's a good story to tell, no matter how many times I end up telling it on this fucking show. It's
love it.
Do you have any good celebrity stories?
I honestly fucking wish. I mean, I lived in a hotel during Hurricane Sandy.
Okay.
Because the house got destroyed, blah, blah, blah. But I lived down the hall from Lawrence Taylor. And if I had to guess what like a meth lab smelled like, it'd be his room. But that was the only thing, because he used to take home the bartender who he called like Missy every night. And she had to be like a 45-year-old ex-coke whore, and who wore like leopard underneath like her blacks, which was great. Yeah. And she just every morning it was just her leaving his room and the hallway reeking of meth. That's about it.
Rough. Yeah, I mean, there was a whole thing about him being a big crackhead for a while. So
Yeah.
I mean,
It was true.
it adds up. Like we checked that box. All right, next one. What's the worst thing about where you grew up? And where did you grow up?
So Jersey, actually.
Oh, Jersey. Okay.
I am a Jersey boy through and through.
What part?
Central. So I literally lived down the street from Sammy's sweetheart.
Okay.
Yeah, she went to the local high school when I went to regional. Literally.
Well, hey, there's your claim to fame. There's your celebrity story. You knew somebody from the Jersey Shore.
Oh yeah, it's great. And then my ex's brother was also best friends in my situation. It's like, yeah, that honestly is the worst part about being from Jersey is the constant reference to Jersey Shore, or everyone telling me you don't sound like you're from Jersey. And I'm like, please tell me how exactly that I sound or how I am supposed to sound. I would absolutely love to hear that. And they're like, well, you're like from Jersey. And I'm like, okay, here's the thing.
You didn't say gym tan laundry once in this conversation.
At all. I don't even have a laundry machine. Why am I going to
You don't go to the gym and you don't tan.
No, this is honest. Like, even just being 3 days out at that Bartenders Weekend in the pool, I just got...
You just burn.
Yeah, I really did.
It happens. When you're super white, you just burn.
Yeah, and my mom's from, like, northeastern Pennsylvania, so for no reason, she sounds like she's from Minnesota. So, like, when she talks, she's like, Cody, do me a favor and, like, go, like, let the dog out. I'm like, where are you from?
Dude, the Pennsylvania accent, what kills me is when they say wooder.
Wooder. But if you're from Philly, they also use their phone to call home.
Yeah, phone to call home and get a glass of wooder. Dude, it's like some guy at the bar the other day, he was from Philly, and I knew it immediately because I was like, can I start you off something to drink? He's like, yeah, I'll have a wooder. I was like, you'll have a what?
You're from Philadelphia.
Yeah, and he's like, I'll have a wooder. I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought you said.
Let me just see right here.
You said
just
wooder.
to confirm this.
Wooder. You'll have a wooder for sure. So you're okay. So Central Jersey. What's the worst thing about being? Is it the
No, I mean that's kind of like
to
the superficial. But like, I also grew up in a 1 square mile town, so that was the worst thing.
Rough.
Like literally,
everyone knew everyone's business.
Everyone knew everything.
Fucking hate that shit.
Yeah, you couldn't throw a party in your backyard without the neighbors calling the cops or telling your mom so they came home early. Like there was just no room to kind of like be yourself and kind of like get into trouble because everyone knew. Except, I mean, like, one of my friends took a shit on a sidewalk once, and that's not the worst thing about living in town, but the fact that everyone knew that she took a shit on the sidewalk, that was the worst thing about it. Like she couldn't hide the fact that she shit on the sidewalk.
That's great.
And it's because my friend Liz was like, do it, you won't. She did.
As an adult, have you ever shit your pants or shit in a very strange place?
Oh, in a strange place, absolutely.
Where was it?
Oh, behind a dumpster.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, outside like a food store.
It's not that strange. I mean, if you're gonna shit in public, I mean, it might as well be behind a dumpster, right?
No, I mean, but also like everyone sharts. Everyone has like poop farted.
Exactly. I thought it was it's you don't realize that you got the bubble guts, and I'm gonna let this one slip out, and then a little more slips out than you planned on, and you're just like. I need to go home right now.
So one of my favorite stories about that is like my boss, she was getting money out of the safe and I scared her. And so she farted when I scared her and she shit her pants as she's like bent down the safe. And I didn't know this. So I was like, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you help me like change like the syrup bag on the top thing? Just because like you have nimble fingers and it's like a weird thing. She's like, yeah, sure, no problem. And like I'm up there like spotting her. I have no idea that she just shit her pants, like making sure she doesn't fall. And it was like 6 months later that she like pulled me aside when she was drinking. She was like, listen, I gotta tell you. Remember one time you asked me to change like the syrup, and I was like, "Yeah, what?" She goes, "I shit my pants."
She's like, I had an ass full of dookie, son.
I was like, "Oh my god, why didn't you tell me?" She goes, "Everyone else knew," and I'm like, "Man, how are the last to find out?"
Rough. I remember one time I went on when I had to have been like 12, and me and my homies used to go on like bike rides around the desert, and it was like. You just travel out as far as you could until you couldn't ride anymore. And then it was like, I'm gonna hop on like the public transit and go home. And we were riding and we had just stopped. My dad used to run a restaurant and we stopped there and he gave us all free food and we're riding after that. And all of a sudden my stomach just starts turning.
Oh, no.
And we're in like a residential area.
Oh, no.
And I was like, there's no like gas stations or anything for me to run into. And so the dudes I was riding with wasn't particularly like close with. And I was like, so I just made it was like, guys, I think I'm going to throw up. I'm going to run behind these bushes really quick. And I run behind the bushes and because I'm not thinking clearly. I have to shit so bad. And I run behind the bushes and I pull down my pants and I start taking a shit. And they're like, dude, you're taking a shit? And I was like, well, and I looked to the left and it was like a see-through bush. Like it wasn't like a full enough bush. So you could like clearly see through. And I was like, oh, dude, I am.
No.
Dude, that was on a Saturday. On the following Monday at school, dude, they were telling everybody that I shit in a bush. I was like, fuck, man, now I'm the kid that shat in a bush.
At least you're not the one wearing a cape.
What's the worst job you ever had?
Oh, Target. Working at fucking Target. I was there for probably about 2 weeks, and I got hired just to like reface shelves and just pulling product forward and turning it, and it never being able to stay that way for more than like a second because some asshole kid like looks at you in the eye on the aisle and just runs down with his hand along the aisle, just knocking shit off. Lasted 2 weeks. I absolutely could not. No.
Dude, okay, can I tell you a fun story about me getting a job at Target?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay. So, God, dude, I want to say I was like probably like 20, and I was unemployed for a couple months, and I started like applying everywhere, right? And I apply at Target, and they call me, and I get an interview, and I go, and it goes really well, and the guy shakes my hand. He's like, welcome to the team, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, tight. I was like, I got a job. So I call up my homies. I was like, let's celebrate, dude. I got a job. So, I mean, we went at it that night. It was a time in my life where we did a lot of OxyContin.
Oh.
Because back then OxyContin was really, really good. Like they didn't have like the time release on it wasn't like coded into it, so you can just like and have a ball. So we did a lot of Oxy, we did some Coke, I did a little bit of Molly, and we drank a lot. And
that is a cocktail,
dude. I mean, I should have died, but I wake up the next morning at 8:30 to my phone ringing from the hiring manager saying, all right, so the last step is we need you to go take a drug test.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so fuck me, right? I immediately was like, okay, I'm not getting this job anymore. But in my head, I was also like, I kind of want to see what this panel ends up looking like. So I went and took the drug test. And it spiked for
it was like a fucking Scantron,
dude. I mean, dude, it was like every like I personally I don't get to see the results, but I waited a couple days and I called the guy from Target. I was like, so am I good or what? And he goes, what? I was like, when do I start? And he's like, sir, you tested positive for everything. He's like, literally everything on this 5-panel test you tested positive for, and strongly. Like it wasn't like a minute amount. Like you tested fucking you got A's across the board.
You purposely did all of this right before you went.
Yeah, so I never worked at Target, but I got hired there once.
Dude, I also remember OxyContin, the Oxy 80s that you had to like suck the coating off, let it dry out, and then chop it up and snort it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
a good summer in Wildwood.
Did a lot of that. Dude, the drugs used to be so much cheaper than they are now, and easier to get. But that was a time in my life where things were really hazy, and now I have a really terrible memory because of it. I realized this past year that because of all the drugs I did in my early 20s, like my memory is fucked. I really like my long-term memories are intact. Like I remember the weirdest shit from my youth, but I used to be able to like when I was waiting tables and stuff, like when I was 18, I would take like a party of 12, their order without writing anything down. And I used to like bet them for bigger tips. Cause there was always that one asshole in the group that'd be like, and he would just like stop me in the middle. Hey man, you're not writing any of this down. I'm like, yeah, I got it. It's fine. He's like, you're going to fuck something up. No, I won't. You want to bet? I was like, if I fuck anything up, you don't have to tip me. If I don't, you have to tip me double what you were going to. And they would always take the bet and I'd always win. Now I'll take like 2 people's orders at the bar and then I'll get to the computer and be like, did he want mac and cheese? And just like,
Do we serve mac and cheese?
Yeah. It's like I just completely space out on it, and I'm just like, fuck, man, I really ruined my brain.
See, like
Mush.
Cerebral really like cornered the market now because they are basically blaming ADHD for us doing drugs when we were much younger. Because they're like, do you not know where your keys are often? Do you often forget that other people are talking, so you start talking instead? And I'm like, yes, I
All
do
the
that.
time.
I have ADHD. No, I just did a lot of drugs in college and cannot be a person anymore.
It's fucking terrible. Okay, what do you think would be the worst way to die?
Oh fuck. What was that one where they used to like, it was like in the medieval times where they used to like tie horses to like each one of your limbs?
Drawn and quartered.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, like the fuck.
Yeah,
No,
dude.
like pop the socket, rip
Yeah.
rip the limbs off. No, that yes. No, that one. Mhm.
Seems painful.
Yeah.
Dude, I one time I came up with this great plan on how to, like, if I was ever going to kill myself, how I'd do it. And
Everyone has one of those.
yeah,
though.
and no, but listen to mine because it's well thought out. Okay. So, cheese wire is very thin
Yeah.
and it actually disintegrates, right?
Shut the fuck up.
Okay, so check this out. The idea was that I make a noose out of cheese wire. And then once my neck is in it, before I actually kick the chair and say goodbye, I glue my hands to my head. And then the cheese wire, if I don't get found immediately, would cut through my neck and cut my head off. So when somebody found me on the ground, it would look like I ripped my own head off.
Oh my god. That's amazing, actually.
Right? So it just looked like one day I just said, fuck it, and just went,
Pop.
nah,
Just-
and just pulled it off and fell to the ground. And there's my head in my hands. And, my body is down there. And
I kind of fucking love that.
yeah, you can use it.
I mean, like that's also like a really good basis for like a serial killer. Like I'm here for that. Like I would watch the fuck out of that documentary.
Dude, here's a great story. I once saw a decapitated body.
Where?
Okay, so San Diego.
Was it Bartenders Weekend?
It wasn't, but I was visiting a bunch of friends at bars.
It's just okay.
So one of my favorite bars that I used to go to, and it was mainly because my homie running it is a fucking rock star. He now runs a bar in San Diego called Kingfisher that just recently opened, but he used to run a bar called So he used to run a bar called Lion's Share.
Oh shit. Okay.
Okay, so we would go to Lion's Share to hang out with him, and my wife and I, we go in, and we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, this guy just walks in, and he kind of captures everybody's like eyes in the room because he looks like he just saw a ghost. Yeah, he's just like no expression on his face, like fully in shock, and just walks up to the bar and goes, "Can I have a drink?" Like as soft as that. "Please, can I have a drink?" And everyone's just kind of like, what's going on? And he's just standing there. We're like, "Hey, dude, are you all right?" And he's like, "There's a body on the Amtrak." And we're like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, there's a body on the Amtrak." So I look at my wife and I'm like, I was like, "I'm not trying to be insensitive, but we should go."
Immediately what your reaction should be.
So I do the fake, like, I was like, "All right, man, well, you stay here." I was like, "I'm going to run to the restroom." And we booked it outside. And so right on the other side of Lion's Share is a Italian restaurant it's famous for being in the movie Top Gun. It's the Italian restaurant that they eat at. And then on the other side of that, there is the tracks for the transit train. Now, apparently what had happened was, the company Cisco, the food delivery service,
Yeah, of course.
they were having their yearly holiday party. And they had it at the convention center, which is right across the street. It was like a big deal. They had like fucking Aerosmith playing there.
Fuck?
And like open bar and shit, right? So two guys leave the event early and they're walking down and they're about to cross the train tracks. And one guy looks at his friend and says, he sees the train coming. He's like, "I bet I can Indiana Jones roll underneath this." because they're hammered.
Oh.
And the other guy eggs him on as it's a good idea. He tries. He rolls. He gets his head and his arm cut off.
Ah.
So when I get out there, the coroners are already there, and they had just put a blanket or a sheet over the body, and then there was a guy walking 10 feet over to put one over the head, and I saw it before.
Oh God!
And then another guy walking over to put one over the arm that was like 20 feet away.
Oh my God!
And I saw it, and I was like, "Holy shit, dude, this is real." So yeah, dude, fucking San Diego, man. I saw a dead.
That's like a bingo square mark off. Like,
yeah, dude, I saw a decapitated body in San Diego. That should be a T-shirt.
The fuck?
I went to San Diego, and all I saw was this decapitated body. Okay. This episode's about to end, so we need to do the final thing, which is Are You the Worst?
Okay.
Are You the Worst is a rapid-fire series of questions where I ask you a question, you answer yes or no, and at the end, we'll find out if you're the worst or not. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Have you ever stolen from your parents?
Yes.
Have you ever lied to a boyfriend?
Yes.
Have you ever been a bully?
Yes.
Have you ever cheated on someone?
Yes.
Fuck yeah. Have you ever worn Crocs?
Yes.
Ugh. Have you ever worn jorts?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Daily.
Have you ever made fun of a retarded person?
Oh, yes.
Dude. I don't know if this is an A or an F, but Cody just got it. And he's the first person to ever answer yes to every single question.
Are you serious?
The first.
No one's made fun of a retarded person and worn jorts at the same time?
No.
Oh.
And it's weird because you would think that they would go hand in hand.
Exactly, yeah.
But usually it's one or the other. And you know, most people really fess up to the wearing jorts thing. I mean, no, sorry, nobody really fesses up to wearing jorts. Most people fess up to making fun of a retarded person, at least when they were younger. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, the jorts, hardly anybody. And I rarely get somebody that tells me that they've especially. It's mostly people that are still with their boyfriend or girlfriend that say they never lied to them, even though they're full of shit.
You've never had one before that you lied to.
Yeah. But man, I am thoroughly impressed.
I am a garbage human.
Yeah, man, you really are. Thank you for. Is there anything that you want to plug? Do you want to tell people what your Instagram is or anything like that?
Yeah, I guess my Instagram's _Cody Banks. You can find me there if you really still want to talk to me after this episode. Yeah, that's
Have you ever thought of Gaygent Cody Banks?
No, but actually now I kind of love it. I kind of wanted the gay agenda to be my full name, like just to be known as the gay agenda.
Thank you for coming. This has been a really fun one. We learned a lot today, folks. And this has been the worst. If it's your first time watching, subscribe, like, rate, review, audio, video, all of that shit. I need subscribers on the YouTube. I need all of that. The audio is doing well. The YouTube, not so much. Why the fuck am I paying the extra money if you're not subscribing? Anyways, thank you for watching. See you next week.